Hey guys, so now that we're almost finished with the metal work, I can go back to my what I started doing before, the cleaning inside. So I want to clean up the whole body, everywhere where I have old seam sealer and stuff like that. There's padding here that I need to remove, and I don't even know how am I going to remove that, maybe with my heat gun. Yeah, anyway, so what I'm gonna do now is first I'm gonna vacuum the whole car because there's a lot of metal shavings inside and stuff like that, and then I'm gonna start cleaning it. Agreed? Okay. I think my heat gun doesn't suck very well anymore. I need to clean it up a little because it took me about 10 minutes to vacuum the whole car with it. I don't know what's wrong with it, but let's see if it can help me clean this thing here. Well, here actually it worked well. So finally I can finish cleaning this wheel well which I started, and I found the crack. So we will pick up from where we left off. I'm gonna clean all the old seam sealer, and after the epoxy primer I'm gonna seam seal it again with new seam sealer because this one just chips off. Like, I don't think it's doing a good job now, like 40 years later. "45. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna be very interesting for you, huh? Alright, I'm gonna turn you off and I'm gonna bring you back when there's some progress, but I don't think there's gonna be too much progress today. Alright, so I just spent about an hour here in the boot and in the rear part of the body. I mean, what should I call that, heel board, and I removed all the seam sealer that was in the corners because I wanted to make sure that there's no rust hiding somewhere behind it, but I'm happy to report that actually it is very solid everywhere in the corners because obviously they applied the seam sealer over primer, so I was afraid that there was no primer behind it, so I wanted to epoxy prime everything and then seam seal it again, but it looks like they applied primer. So I'm gonna apply seam sealer again after the epoxy primer. So all this is done. The floors, of course, they're not seam sealed on the sides because I replaced them, so only there in the footwells, that's only where I still need to go and clean and remove all the seam sealer, and that's gonna be it. Then just wire brush everywhere and it's gonna be ready for epoxy primer. Oh, and something else I forgot to tell you. I just read a comment in YouTube from Keith. Keith is the gorgeous guy who gave me this car, and he just in his comment he said that I should check the bottom lip of the hatch because he remembers that there was a little bit of rust there. So the bottom edge actually is now the top edge of the lid because the lid is open. So I went to check, and sure enough, there's rust there. So Keith, I thought you were a friend. Why are you showing me things like that now? I thought I didn't have any more rust on the car. Yeah, actually, thank you so much for letting me know. I was gonna figure it out eventually when I take the hatch out, but it was gonna be very late probably. Okay, so it's another day here. I don't know if you see this. Yeah, that's the idea, to clean all this. Then we're gonna wire brush everything and get it ready for paint. Here under the I don't think I'm gonna touch here. Oh, see. Yeah, I just want to make sure that there's no any rust under this seam sealer. I'm gonna regret later that I didn't check if I don't. And if everything is fine, I'm just gonna clean it up. I ordered the epoxy primer, so it's gonna come soon. And some point, some weekend, we're gonna have to spray epoxy primer inside, and then we're gonna run new layer of seam sealer wherever we need to. There's two more little parts that need to come out. I always say that now I have everything out, but I still have parts that have to come out, like this grommet or whatever it is called for the steering column. Alright, so far so good. I was expecting to find, not that I was expecting, but I wouldn't be surprised if I found rust here behind this seam sealer because of all the rust that was here. So I'm just gonna clean this up now with the wire wheel, and then I'm gonna move to the other side as well. So first let me vacuum this. This time it sucked better. Alright. Okay. I think with this side we are pretty much okay. Let me show you a little bit more. So this side is pretty much done. I'm happy that everywhere where there was a seam sealer there was no rust underneath, because I was hoping not to have rust, but somewhere in the back of my head I always thought that I might find some more worm's nest behind that. So I was even planning not to remove the seam sealer from over there, but I said at the end of the day it is worth doing that a little bit extra work to remove it and then apply it again, but just to double check what's behind it. So that's one side, and now we have to move to the other, to this side, which is a little bit dark now. So I removed the seam sealer here all the way to here, but now we have to go down, and over there in the corner you see it is a mess. Not a mess, but a lot of seam sealer, so it needs to, all of it needs to be removed. And the paint is all scuffed. I run it with heat gun. Yeah, and it's all scuffed, so it's before I prime it, I'm just gonna wipe it with lacquer thinner maybe, or something like that, just to clean it up, and that's it. Now that the battery box is missing, I can see in the engine bay here. Wow, I've always wondered what the engine bay looks like when the bonnet is closed. Wow, quiet. The horses are sleeping. Nice. What? Oh, we have a problem here. And there is a hole, rusty hole. I don't know if you see it. Hold on, I'm gonna take a picture for you. What's wrong? Oh, I haven't adjusted the shutter speed. Okay. Okay, so look at the picture now. You see, this is right behind the slider for the bonnet, so that's why I couldn't see it from outside. But anyways, it's not that hard to fix it. Now we're gonna keep cleaning, just we're gonna keep in mind. Oh, and there's another here, so I'm gonna let me take a picture of that too. Okay, but other than that, the whole thing here looks amazing. I'm happy that there's no more rust here and no more surprises. Okay, so now the next is to clean the floors. Alright, so this side of the floor, the passenger side, is done. Again, I'm not going to bare metal, I'm just scuffing the paint and making sure there's no more rust anywhere. And that's it for today. Believe it or not, that was 3 hours. But for you probably it was 5 minutes. So anyways, tomorrow we're gonna keep going with the B-post on that side, and the wheel well, and the heel board, and everything needs to be cleaned. And at some point we're gonna have to do the, oh yeah, the inner seal needs to be done, and the door jambs I want to do, because when I'm painting when I'm painting the body inside, I want to do the door jambs too. So yeah, we'll keep going. Alright. Alright, so the whole door jamb is cleaned up now, nicely. And that was my idea. I wanted to clean the car inside, everything, the trunk, the boot, the floors, the ceiling, and I think that's done now. Inside it is nice and clean. Let me show you. Alright, so as you can see, or you can't see, yeah, because it's dark, I'm gonna turn some lights on. Okay, so as you can see, everything is more or less clean. Like I said, I'm not going to clean everything, all the paint inside. I'm just cleaning the loose paint and the seam sealer, the factory seam sealer. And I think I went all over the place with my wire wheel, and I cleaned as much as possible inside. So the doors, of course, I didn't touch yet. I'm gonna clean the door jambs, but I found a small issue while I was cleaning the door jamb, and that's why I'm changing a little bit the plan, like I said. So let me show you what the problem was. I'm gonna turn the light off. Okay, so I'm gonna freehand this part of the video, and the camera is gonna be a little bit shaky, but I need to walk around the car, so I hope I don't shake it too much, and I hope it focuses wherever it needs to focus. So this is the door jamb, and while I was cleaning it, first of all, I started finding my own problems, like this one, for example, that I didn't weld well. I actually, when I was grinding here, I cut this a little bit too far, so I'm gonna have to weld this, but that's not a serious problem. What else? Like going up, everything is fine here, but on this side, when I clean the paint, I found a little bit more rusty holes here, so I need to weld those as well. And that's it here for the wheel well, but I also wanted to do the jambs for the windows, the rear wings here, wing windows, and I found this. Not sure if this is focused. Yeah, I think so. I found this rust here, so this needs to be patched, but this whole thing here, that's lead. So I need to get rid of all the lead. I'm gonna have to patch this, and I'm gonna have to weld it and then keep going. But since I found these problems, I realized that as I'm gonna be going forward, cleaning up all the paint, I'm gonna be finding more and more and more of these little problems. So I decided, and that's the change of the plan, I decided that I'm gonna start cleaning everywhere, all the areas like this, for example, where I'm expecting that I might find some more rust. So I cleaned all the way here. I'm gonna clean all around here and everywhere, all the tight spots. Like here, I cleaned a little bit. I started, but I didn't finish. I stopped somewhere here because I realized that I have to remove the hatch, and I still don't want to remove the hatch because I don't have too much room to store it. So the best place for it is on the car for now. So that's gonna be the last thing. Not the last thing, but that's gonna be later. And I also stripped a little bit the paint here just so I can see how it goes. And to be honest, it's not that hard when I use my heat gun. Yeah, that's lead too. There are a couple of areas that we have lead from the factory. Inside, like I said, the boot and everything is cleaned as best as possible. I'm not gonna go too crazy for inside because it's inside, you know, and everything's gonna be covered. I just want to make sure that there's no rust. That was the whole point. So I removed all the seam sealer and went in all the corners to make sure that there are no holes, there's no rust, and that's where I am. It was turned off, sorry, my mic was off. So I was saying that that's gonna be it for today. Not too exciting video because nothing exciting is happening here. I'm just cleaning paint and that's gonna take a while. And I know it's not exciting, but it's not exciting for me either, you know. But I'm gonna do whatever needs to be done. Anyways, I'm gonna upload this because it is April Fool's Day tomorrow, so I wanted to show you what I've been fooling around with the last 1 week. And hopefully in the next couple of videos I'm gonna complete this. We're gonna finish with this boring job, and from there we're gonna go do something, some more exciting jobs like engine work or maybe body work and painting. I don't know what the plan is gonna be, but we will see. So I hope my April Fool jokes were not too boring for you. Actually, you know, this is not a mic, so I don't need to do that anymore. But yeah, it would be good if we had one universal tool for everything, right? That can do grinding, and it can do wire wheeling, and it can be a light or a mic or camera or anything. But unfortunately, we have to buy many tools in order to do what we are doing on these cars. Anyway, so it's Easter too, so happy Easter to those of you who are celebrating Easter, and yeah, have a nice weekend, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Cheers!